Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's John. I am coming to you today just because I saw a video just now, and of course I'm blanking on who posted it. Well, anyway, I'll try and put that in the comments. But the video was on what was her motivation and the fact that she went into a Chinese restaurant buffet and they asked her if she was pregnant. Sometimes that's the easy out. I wish I was pregnant. I think my son asked me that one time, when we were when my wife was pregnant this last year, and that got me thinking about just a quick post on what has motivated me this past 20 years, 15, 20 years, and why some of the motivation to get the LapBand in a few months. First of all, kids. One time I remember going over to my boss's house back when I was an athletic trainer, and I just gotten the job and went over, and he had 2 kids, young kids, and this family was in awesome shape, really focused on that as a family, and I really commend them for that. It was really cool to see that. But he asked his dad in front of me why my stomach was so big. And at that point, I guess I was probably 320, 325 maybe. This was probably about 7 years ago. And everybody laughs and jokes and says, "Oh yeah, it's just, that's just the way he is," or whatever. And some people are like that, but and I have a real good, I think it's the fat people, guys can all probably agree with me here, that we have a real good way of shrugging that stuff off and internalizing it. And I internalized everything. I wouldn't tell my wife, and my family, and those things just, they get at you and they eat at you, and then it goes back and you say, well, that's who I'm supposed to be, and I'm probably supposed to be fat. Obviously realizing that's not who we're supposed to be by this point. There was one point that one of my jobs, one of the big bosses, one of the owners, took me aside after a meeting, and you never want that to happen from the big boy, and basically said, "Hey, I know your struggle. I've been there too." And he wasn't that big. Am I doing anything to lose weight? Is there any way they can help? Sure, yeah. Give me a personal trainer for 5 days a week and let me come in late every morning. But obviously those aren't, feasible options. So, he said, "We really want you to be around our company for a long time." And that meant a lot to me. And that was some motivation. I got in the gym and started doing things, but then again, life took over. Bad habits took over, and I wasn't focused on everything that I should have been focused on. So I internalized it. I didn't tell anybody. Eventually, I think I told some of my work friends that I go out and eat with and stuff like that. But that got to me again. One time I was at a football game, an NFL game, and no, it wasn't. It was the Fiesta Bowl here in town, and I go down. I'm trying to be pretty good, and everybody's kind of getting. Well, they weren't getting beers or anything, but sodas, and it's probably even worse. And I just needed something. I had been pretty good all day, and I just felt like you have that urge, and I gave into it. And I went down and got a Coke and some nachos, and this guy was wasted. He was absolutely hammered. And he came up to me, and he just started telling me how fat I was. And this is in the middle of an extremely crowded Fiesta Bowl concourse. And the guy was kind of belligerent, and I didn't want to, deal with him, but then I started reasoning with him. I said, "You're right. And he was a big guy too. But this big guy was telling me how fat I was in the middle of a public place like this, and how I'm going to die if I don't do anything about it. And you wonder sometimes, you know, if these people are put there for a reason. And he continued to just talk my ear off about, it wasn't even from there, it was from Pennsylvania or something like that. And I tried changing the subject a few times, and he just kept going back to it and how I was going to kill myself and I needed to start working out. And my gut was so huge. And honestly, I think I used to carry it pretty well. People never guess that I'm, you know, upwards of 370. Most people think I'm right around 15 or something like that. But people have trouble guessing weight. So again, I didn't tell anybody about that. I internalized the whole thing. It wasn't enough motivation to get me started again, even though that was the new year. I didn't do anything about it, and it was frustrating. And then there was an older lady, who a couple people have gone to my wife and said, "Is your husband okay? Is there anything we can do for him? We're really concerned about his health. How can we help?" You know, my wife tells me about those things if she feels like it's something that I can handle at the time. But there's a lot of times where I just turn everybody off and shut down myself. You know, I've had extremely supportive family of me, and I've lost a lot of weight, and everybody's been incredibly supportive. You know, my dad was 30 years in the Army as a Ranger and was in the epitome of health, and always been just super supportive of me. And they've never, every time I lose weight, they congratulate me. But sometimes you want some tough love a little bit, not necessarily from them, but from people that can hold you accountable, and that's tough. And then this most recent event. Before I told my buddies that I was going to have LapBand surgery, we're out eating at Payway, and I ordered the spicy chicken with no vegetables and fried rice with no vegetables. So pretty much probably one of the worst things you could get there, and nothing good about it with no vegetables. So when the worst part about these restaurants is that they give you your food. You know, there's certain things that fat people do when they order. They try and wait to order while people are talking, so they can't hear you putting bacon on your cheeseburger, or ordering a Coke and not a Diet Coke. Because every time you order a Coke, the waitresses, if you're fat, tend to go diet, and you're like, no, regular. And you don't want people to know that because you feel self-conscious about it. And so she brought this to the table and gave me this food, and she goes, "And we've got chicken with no vegetables and fried rice with no vegetables." And my buddy, and these are two big guys like me, we're all trying to lose weight, and he goes, "Oh yeah," and bring him a stretcher while you're at it, you know. And so, I mean, it's frustrating, but I gotta figure out how to turn that into motivation, and I know it can happen, and I'm continuing to do that. I'm going out on my first C2 5K run tonight. I didn't eat super fantastic today. Again, I'm working baby steps, but I need to work a little harder. And I see my surgeon for my second month update this week, so I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks again for all the support and all the subscriptions. Keep doing the thumbs up like B says. And shout out to Pino. Great video. We're here to support you, man. Keep up the good work, and you and I can do this together. We got a lot to lose, so let's do it. Let's lose a couple people, okay? All right, y'all. See ya.